Next on Woodsongs, it's legendary guitar master Tommy Emmanuel for the whole hour.
The television broadcast of the Woodsongs Old Time Radio Hour is presented in part by the Martin Guitar Company, making handcrafted guitars since 1833. Online at martinguitar.com. The Lexington Convention and Visitors Bureau, providing information to visit Lexington, Kentucky online at visitlex.com. By Folkbook, a social media site for arts and music, online at folk-book.com. By Ear Trumpet Labs, manufacturing American-made microphones for folk, bluegrass, roots, and acoustic artists, online at eartrumpetlabs.com.
Here on the Louisiana Hayride, his name is Hank Williams, the
From the Grand Ole Opry, Bill Monroe and his Bluegrass Boys.
Hi, this is Bruce Horns. Hi, this is Kevin Moe.
Hey folks, this is Bela Fleck.
Hi folks, this is Sam Bush.
Hello, this is Odetta.
This is Joan Baez, and you're listening to the Woodsongs Old Time Radio Hour.
And now, gather the family around and sit back in your easy chair. It's time again for the Woodsongs Old Time Radio Hour, our worldwide celebration of grassroots music. Let's welcome folk singer, author, and tree hugger, Michael Jonathan.
When the stars of all creation shine down on mankind's eyes, the strands of all things living spin a tapestry of night. The hands of a healer shines down as golden light, to be hung from the skyline on a cold and lonely night. Starry, starry nights, paint your palette blue and gray. Look out on a summer's day with eyes that know the darkness in my soul. Shadows on the hill, catch the breeze and winter chill. Catch the breeze and summer chill in colors on the snowy linen land. Oh, now I understand what you tried to say to me, and how you struggled for your sanity, and how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they did not know how. Perhaps they'll listen now. Starry, starry nights, flaming flowers brightly blaze, swirling clouds in violet haze reflect in Vincent's eyes of china blue, and colors changing hue. Morning fields of amber grain, weathered faces lined in pain, are soothed beneath this artist's loving hand. Oh, now I understand what you tried to say to me, and how you struggled for your sanity, and how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they did not know how. Perhaps they'll listen now, for they could not love you, and still your love was true. left in sight. On that starry, starry night, you took your life as lovers often do. Oh, but I could have told you, Vincent, this world was meant for none as beautiful as you. Starry, starry nights, portraits hung in empty halls, frameless heads on nameless walls, with eyes that watch the world and can't forget those strangers that you've met. All the ragged men in ragged clothes, the silver thorns of bloody rose lie crushed and broken on the virgin snow. Now I think I know what you tried to say to me, how you struggled for your sanity, and how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they're not listening still. Perhaps they never will. And welcome to the historic Lyric Theater in our hometown of Lexington, Kentucky. We're broadcasting from the crossroads of America's folk and bluegrass music, the gateway city to the magnificent Appalachian Mountains. So much art, so much music comes out of this region. It has spread all over the world and has affected artists from everywhere. And they come on this stage. We're so grateful that they do. You don't have to be famous. You just have to be very, very good to appear on Woodsongs. And that is certainly the case with the artist that we're devoting this entire hour broadcast to. He's an Australian guitar virtuoso. He's also an honorary Kentucky colonel, which I didn't know about that. His YouTube videos alone have amassed over 30 million views. He tours worldwide, and he's got a brand new album called It's Never Too Late. This is a tune called the T.E. Ranch. Please welcome the amazing Tommy Emmanuel.
Thank you.
Here's the new CD. It's called It's Never Too Late. Tommy Emmanuel, it's nice to have you back. Your sixth
Thanks for
appearance.
inviting me.
No,
Michael.
it's great.
Much appreciated.
Last time you were here, you and I were both recently remarried.
Indeed.
And now you're back again, and we both have newborn children.
We do. You have your twins.
Twins, and you have the baby Rachel, right?
I do.
Thus is the title
months.
of the new CD, It's Never Too Late.
That's hence the title.
Hence
yes.
the
Well,
title.
when you come to my house and you walk through the front door, there's a sign, and it says, "It's never too late to live happily ever after."
Ah, beautiful.
And so that's it. Yeah.
So
You know
have
all about that.
Yeah. So you have the lovely wife, Clara, who's also from Australia, of
That's
Korean
correct.
descent.
She's a Sydney girl, and we actually met in Portugal, and I was a free man, single, and traveling around the world. And I went to Portugal for the first time, and I was there in the afternoon getting ready to do a sound check, and my tour manager came in, and he was German, you know. He says, "Tommy, there's a girl out here, and she talks like you." And I said, "Well, show her in." And she was backpacking around Europe, and she was a big fan of mine from earlier days, and she grew up with my music, and she plays guitar.
Well, and the relationship has resulted in your third daughter.
Yeah.
Little Rachel. We even have a photo of little Rachel watching you tune your guitar right now. So just an adorable a beautiful little baby girl.
Yeah, she sure is.
And that sort of inspired this album project in a way.
Exactly, yeah. And the song, the title track, It's Never Too Late, I wrote while I was on tour because I wanted to have a song ready to play for her, to talk about her when she came into my life. Mm-hmm. So it was last December, and I was touring through a very cold Poland in Europe. The people were wonderful and everything, and I had this song written, and I played it for the guitar player who was opening on that tour, a young Polish guy. And I played it to him just to hear what he'd say in his kind of broken English. And he said, "Oh, a minor song with optimism."
Well, it's the title cut of your record. Let's go ahead and listen to it. It's dedicated to your little baby daughter, Rachel.
Yeah.
It's called It's Never Too Late. That's the name of the album as well. It's Tommy Emmanuel on the Woodsongs Old Time Radio.
Thank
Title
you.
cut to his brand new album, It's Never Too Late. It's a song dedicated to his little baby daughter, Rachel. Now, Tommy, you tour a lot. I mean, you were just in Europe. You were just in Australia. I mean, you tour constantly. Even with a new wife and a baby, that is not the easiest thing in the world to do.
Well, you know, everything comes at a price in life, and you learn that along the way, don't you?
Well, you paid a price at one time for it.
I've paid a lot of prices. And people actually often ask me, you know, like, how do you keep going? How do you do so many shows and blah, blah, blah? And the truth is that part's easy. Being away from your family is the hard part.
Well, one of the things that I respect about you is whenever you can, you take Clara and Rachel with you. We even have a photograph of you in Australia. You're in an apartment making a smoothie for you and your wife, and you got the baby in a sink next to you.
That's right. In the kitchen. Because Clara was
little
busy.
sink baby cradle.
That's right. And I had to improvise something. She'll fit in the sink, so I just put it there. So I could work right beside her, making the smoothie. I could talk with her and watch her, and she could see what I was doing. And so she was fascinated by what I'm doing, and I'm talking to her constantly, so she doesn't want to jump up and jump out of the thing, you know. But, you know, sometimes you got to do these things. You don't want to be, you know, corralling them all the time. You want to, you also want to keep them close and involve them in everything you're doing. Mm-hmm. And that's what I try anyway.
Well, being a dad is certainly not new to you. You have two other wonderful daughters.
I do.
Each born in a different nation.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this is not how I planned things. In fact, you know, John Lennon said it better than anybody. He said, life is what happens to us while we're making other plans. And that's true. I have 3 daughters from 3 countries and 3 continents. My daughter Amanda was born in Sydney, Australia. My daughter Angelina was born in Windsor in England. And Rachel was born in Nashville, Tennessee.
So Rachel's the bona fide American.
She's got an American passport. She hasn't got an American accent yet, though.
She's working.
You know.
The creative energy gets diverted, though, when you have a little baby in the house.
Oh, I mean, totally.
So how do you handle things like rehearsing or trying to write and stuff? Because usually when you're single, you have your space. Right. And art is born of isolation. Now, when you have a new bride and a new baby along with it, there's not a lot of isolation.
No. Well, I mean, when I'm on the road, it's a different story. And when I'm on the road, if I get a chance, if I'm inspired and I get a chance to write a song or get an idea, I'll do all I can to keep that idea flowing. By that I mean I'll play it in the car on the way to the airport. I'll get my guitar out and play. I'll play at the airport if I've got an idea. I'll try to keep it going, you know, and finish the song. But you know, being a new dad has given me again such a new lease on life and made me feel much more alive and creative. And people always say to me, "You're 60 years old. How can you possibly think about having a baby? They take so much energy." Look. She fires me with energy. She makes me feel 40 years younger. You know, she really does.
Spoken like a good dad.
That's true. Yeah.
Speaking of inspiration, when you were just a little boy in Australia, Chet Atkins was a huge inspiration for you.
He was definitely my hero, my mentor. He was the guy who inspired me and kept me up at night trying to work out what he was doing.
One of the songs on your brand new album, It's Never Too Late, is a Chet song.
It is. It's called El Vaquero, which is Spanish for the cowboy. It was written by Wayne Moss, who's still with us, and Chet. And I remember when I worked this song out, because the original recording had 2 guitar parts. It had a rhythm part, and then Chet played the melody over the top. And I worked out how to play both parts at the same time while learning 2 Oriental languages. And anyway, thank you, John Cleese, for that line. And so when I played the song for Wayne the first time, he came up to me after the show and he said, "You know you're playing my part and Chet's at the same time." And so his eyes were boggling.
Just think of all the musicians unemployed because of your skill set. It's from his brand new album, It's Never Too Late. El Baquero is the song. Tommy Emmanuel is the artist.
Oh, yeah.
El Baquero from his brand new CD, It's Never Too Late. If you want to know more about Tommy Emmanuel, if you want to revisit this broadcast, we encourage you to go to our website, Woodsongs.com. If you click on the archive page, this is show number 820. If you're listening on radio, you can go to the website and watch the broadcast you're hearing on the air and get to see the photo of Tommy at the sink with his newborn child, among other many things. So, Tommy, you... It's an incredible work ethic needed to do this thing we call playing.
Indeed.
You were just describing it. I mean, you know, working out parts in taxis or at airports, especially with a new wife and a newborn baby.
Right.
That's a lot of energy spent.
Yeah, it is. And you know, you got to try and get a rest whenever you can. The rule on the road is if you can get a sleep, then take it. You know, it doesn't matter if you fall asleep at 11 o'clock in the morning on a plane or whatever. Get your rest time, you know, because it's only good natural energy that has the ability to take your inspiration to another level, is having something good to draw on.
And in the process of things like your health and getting rest is also the care of your hands. So,
Right.
so do you do anything special? Any special exercises for your hands? Anything?
Well, the funny
because I mean,
thing
you're a very precise,
I try to be
player. Yeah.
Well, that comes from watching Chet. I mean, I remember the first time I saw him on TV, my mother was sitting beside me, and we were watching it, and she said, "He doesn't look like he's doing very much." And I said, "That's because he practices a lot, Mom." You know?
Well, he was sort of the Joe DiMaggio of the guitar. I mean, they used to say that about. I used to read about DiMaggio of the New York Yankees when I was a little kid. Mm-hmm. You know, that he made everything look so effortless.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look effortless when I'm watching you.
Oh, okay.
It looks ding dang hard.
Ding dang, okay. Well, it is hard, but you know, anything that I feel that I need to work on, I will do that. I don't have a set routine. In fact, people say, you know, do you squeeze balls? Do you do blah blah blah? I said no. I play the guitar. That's it. You know, I don't need to be doing weights and doing all that stuff. I need to play songs and create music.
Do you have a specific guitar warm-up exercise?
I just play songs as if I'm on stage. You know, I don't. You know, My wife said this about me when she first met me. We were having dinner together, and she just said flat out, she said, "You don't do things by half, do you?" You know, that was the first observation of me.
Well,
and it's true. When I practice the guitar, I practice as if I'm playing to you. You know what I mean? And I know that you're going to hear this song 50 times because that's how many times I'm going to play it until I get it right, you know.
Now, when you were working on the songs for the album, I mean, it took that same kind of a work ethic because these are mostly new songs for you.
Well, yes, but I made sure that I played them live because the song has to work in front of an audience, and I have to feel that I can depend on every millisecond of that song to be strong. If there's any area in a song that isn't right, then I'll just keep at it until it is right.
Well, let's check one of those out, okay? One of these live audience-tested songs. It's on the new CD, It's Never Too Late, brand new album. It's a beautiful record. This is a tune off the album called Only Elliot. It's Tommy Emmanuel.
Thank you.
We have the amazing Tommy Emmanuel on our broadcast for the entire hour, celebrating songs from his brand new album, It's Never Too Late. More music, more conversation with Tommy in the second half hour, and wait till you meet this week's Woodsongs Kid. We'll be back right after this.
This is Steve Earle, and you're exploring the world of grassroots music with folk singer Michael Jonathan on the Woodsongs Old Time Radio Hour.
And thank you very much, Steve Earle, and welcome everybody to our special event broadcast with the wonderful Tommy Emmanuel, master guitarist from Australia, on our show for the entire broadcast. This is the time of the show that I look forward to every week because we have these wonderful, seasoned, experienced performers on our broadcast, and then we invite a kid from somewhere in North America to come on our broadcast and perform with these wonderful artists. And we did find a wonderful guitar player that we invited on our broadcast. He's 14 years old. He's from Vincennes, Indiana. It's nice to have him here. Evan Twitty and Jerry's Breakdown on the Woodsongs Old Time Radio. 14 years old, Evan Twitty from Vincennes, Indiana. I mean, Tommy, it must be a
Yes, sir.
must be a very nice thing when you see kids like young Evan that are inspired by what you are doing.
Well,
just like you were inspired by Chet when you were Evan's age.
Well, absolutely. The thing is, Evan, like so many young players, have discovered the joy of playing, and that it's like a magnet. You know, it not only draws you to it, but it draws others to you, and so you start to realize that you better get to work on it, because when you do something well, it makes people feel great, and they forget their troubles. You see, and so we're actually in the happiness business.
Well, no, that's true. That's right, because it reaches into the heart. It reaches into the heart. We were talking earlier. That's even the seed between you being able to meet your wife, Clara. She was a fan of yours, and she found that joy in your music, and she eventually founded comfort in your life.
Well, I think the main reason she found me is because the price for the concert ticket in Portugal was €15. The price for my show in Australia was $75. That's probably the difference.
Yeah.
You know. Anyway, sorry, I was just...
Look, if a woman's willing to go from Australia to Portugal to save a few bucks to see you...
Exactly, but it's great to see Evan doing so well, and that he's getting out there and getting the experience, because without experience, he's just going to be a good bedroom player, and that's about it. He needs to get out here and get that feeling of wanting to give his best for you, and that's really what it's all about. Our job is to give you everything we possibly can, give it all away, and then have a rest and do it again tomorrow. That's how it works.
Good advice. We were talking about your wife Clara. Among her many roles, mother to young Rachel and Tommy Emmanuel's wife and traveling companion. She also edits your music videos. She's also
she films and edits and she's a director as well. And not only that, I mean, she keeps an eye on everything. You know, she's like a hawk.
Very capable wife. Yeah.
Indeed.
Now, the song that you're about to do is the first single off the album, and she put the music video together for this.
She did. Yeah. It was like a proper drama story, and because we read this true story about a guy who was broken down on the side of the road, and he needed a wrench for a broken tire and to fix his tire, and this a Mexican family came along, and a car full of kids and mum and dad, and obviously not that well off, and they offered to help him. They got him going, and then they gave him some food, and wrapped in the food was the money he'd tried to pay them for their help.
Returned it.
Yeah, and as they drove off, he stopped them and said, "No, I want to pay you for your help." And the guy said, "Today you, tomorrow me." And that was the story. It was like, today is your turn for a random act of kindness. Tomorrow it might be mine.
Well, your wife, Clara, did a beautiful job putting the music video together. If you go on YouTube, look up Tommy Emmanuel. The title of this song is Blood Brother. It's from his new CD, It's Never Too Late. Here's the song, Tommy Emmanuel on the Woodsongs.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Blood Brother is the first single off the brand new album, It's Never Too Late, by Tommy Emmanuel. It's an absolutely brilliant album. From his new CD, It's Never Too Late, this is a tribute to the great John Wayne. It's called The Duke. It's Tommy Emmanuel on the Woodsongs, Old Time Radio. Beautiful and tender.
Thank you.
And Tommy,
Thank you, Pilgrims.
and John Wayne. So the whole album is that the whole album is essentially you solo, correct?
It is, yeah.
And you just sat down and just played them mostly in one take.
That's what I did, yeah. Well, I'd written the songs, and for me, recording is such a pleasure because there's nothing I like better than sitting down in a space with a microphone in front of my guitar with the sound of it in headphones. It's like you go inside the instrument, you go inside the music. Mm-hmm. And I play so much better when I can really hear myself so well. And so it's a whole different ballgame to doing what we're doing right here, right now. I'm moving around a little bit, trying to find a sweet spot, right? And I'm also trying to get a feeling from the audience of what they're feeling and what's going on in the room. So my attention is kind of everywhere. When I'm in the studio, my attention is 100% on my playing. Mm-hmm. And so it's a whole different ball game. But
well, and the folks that get your CD, it's called "It's Never Too Late." I mean, they are going to get that power and passion of all your focus because, especially, I have to say, especially the song "Blood Brothers." I mean, the sound of your guitar on that song alone is worth the album.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. I'm trying to think. You see, when I write, I never think I'm just writing a song to play on the guitar. I never think that way. I always think like I'm writing a song for a band and a singer, and that all of my songs have to be singable. And many
Well, that's
times,
because you play everybody's parts while you're...
Well, no,
you're the chief cause of
Hey.
musician unemployment around the world because you do you even play the drums when you're playing.
Sometimes I do, but you know, it's a mindset, isn't it? You know, it's about thinking and hearing the whole thing. So you know, when I'm playing a piece, I'm not only hearing the music, I'm also feeling and seeing the story unfold, and I try to make my music cinematic. So you know, it would fit in a movie. It would fit in a behind beautiful photographs, things like that. I always try to think the story through while I'm playing the song.
It's a good way to describe the album and the songs on it. Very cinematic, very full screen and color. Your songs are in HD in many ways. Let's go ahead and I can't believe the hour is up already. And we're going to close the show with a very dynamic song from his new record. The CD's called It's Never Too Late, a tribute to his young baby Rachel. This is a tune called Travelin' Clothes. It's Tommy Emmanuel on the Woodsongs Old Time Radio.
Thank you.
Wasn't it great having Tommy Emmanuel on our broadcast? And our Woodsongs kid, 14-year-old Evan Twitty. Tommy's
Bigger
new
than me.
album, It's Never Too Late. You know, inspiration comes from so many directions, so many forms. In Tommy's case, it was his little brand new baby daughter, Rachel, that inspired the title cut for the album and the songs that flowed since then. And we have a young 14-year-old boy that started playing when he was just 2 years old, Evan Twitty from Indiana, in being inspired by hearing a song on the radio and then discovering Chet Atkins and then eventually discovering Tommy Emmanuel. And now look, he's on the same broadcast stage as his hero. Isn't that a great turn of events? Chet Atkins said something. I mean, he was a huge inspiration to Tommy. It's only appropriate that we end the show with something that Chet Atkins said. He said, years from now, somebody's going to listen to the music that I've done. They're going to know that I was here. They may not know or care who I was, but they're going to hear my guitars speaking on my behalf. What Tommy Emmanuel is doing is allowing Chet to speak through him because Chet was his inspiration. We have young Evan here. Tommy Emmanuel is the inspiration for Evan Twitty and other young kids like Parker Hastings and others that hear what Tommy's doing and is so inspiring. Their guitars now speak on behalf of Tommy. It's this wonderful cycle of music and life. Here's what I want you to go home and remember. You may not perform or play like Tommy Emmanuel, but I guarantee you, if there's a child in your home and they hear you playing your instrument, you are going to inspire them the way Chet inspired Tommy, the way Tommy inspires Evan. Don't underestimate the power of your own music in your own family. It's a wonderful thing if you just get out the guitar and play. My name is Michael Jonathan. I'm a folk singer. I am a log cabin dweller, and we'll see you all next week on the Woodsongs Old Time Radio Hour. Good night.
You've been listening to Woodsongs broadcast number 820. Michael's opening song was the unreleased Vincent.
Well, there's our show. I hope you had a good time. We sure had a good time making it. If you'd like to send me an email, I'd love to hear from you. My email address is michael@woodsongs.com. If you visit our website, there's a huge archive page of hundreds of past shows. While you're there, you can find out how you can become a song farmer. And speaking of the archives, here's a scene from one of those past shows now. We'll see you again next week on the Woodsongs Old Time Radio Hour.
Closed captioning provided by the Deering Banjo Company. The television broadcast of the Woodsongs Old Time Radio Hour is presented in part by the Martin Guitar Company, making handcrafted guitars since 1833. Online at martinguitar.com. The Lexington Convention and Visitors Bureau, providing information to visit Lexington, Kentucky online at visitlex.com. By Folkbook, a social media site for arts and music, online at folk-book.com. By Ear Trumpet Labs, manufacturing American-made microphones for folk, bluegrass, roots, and acoustic artists, online at eartrumpetlabs.com.